What's up, nerds? So, this video is going to be about how I was able to connect the fact that Star Wars and Snow White are the same thing. A lot of people think that it's Harry Potter. It's not. Star Wars is Snow White. Okay? Pretty cool stuff. I have all the stuff laid out. And once I'm done, what I have to say about it's gonna freak you out, but it is what it is. And if I got to deal with it, so do you. Tough shit. You don't like it, then go stick your head in a hole. I don't care. You don't have this. You don't have. If you want to stick your head in a hole and just live your life live your life like an asshole, by all means do so. But get out of my way. It's annoying. It's annoying. Okay, it is. This is some pretty serious stuff I'm about to talk about. Snow White and Star Wars are the same thing. What a coincidence, right? Snow, Star, White, Wars, Snow White, Star Wars, SW, SW. There's more than that, but I'm just saying, like that right there is an initial connection that I found out. Snow White, Star Wars. And then once I did that, for some reason, like it just started clicking, and I was just like, oh, I get it. So that's what this video is about. We're going to go ahead and jump into it, and I'll elaborate more towards the end of the video, but that's what this is about, okay? The fact that I have evidence to prove that I believe that Star Wars and Snow White are the same thing because of one person. Okay? So thank you for being here, and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we're all familiar with Snow White, right? You know, the Disney princess, Seven Dwarves, you know, the poisonous apple, whatever, all that stuff, right? That's not how I connected Snow White and Star Wars together. Okay? So we all know about Snow White, about the evil witch and all that, and Snow White and the prince and all that. And then here's Star Wars, and all about Star Wars, and the Sith and the Jedi. I mean, everyone. I'm not going to insult your intelligence, okay? Everyone knows about Snow White. Everyone knows about Star Wars. Okay, that's a given. This person right here is how I was able to connect the two together. Okay? The evil witch from Snow White is really Darth Sidious in Star Wars. White, black cloak, white hair, white, black cloak, white hair, yellow eyes. Look at the color of her eyes, right? I'm just pointing this out. Look at the color of her eyes. Her eyes are yellow. And look at the color of his, yellow. They're the same person. Now, I understand that she's a woman and he's a man. Remind me to talk about that towards the end, because this is some pretty serious stuff that I'm involved in, so just deal with it. The evil witch from Snow White is Darth Sidious from Star Wars. Okay? And you know how Snow White's based off of like a German lore, the Grimm brothers. It's a Grimm brothers story. It's based off German folklore. Well, we all know that Star Wars, the Empire, is based off loosely based off of German depiction, right? Stormtroopers. The Germans had stormtroopers. You know, the helmets look the same. You know, it's basically a play on Nazi Germany, but in outer space, right? They have a big fleets and all that, lots of numbers, and they're being fought by resistance, stuff like that. So that's how Star Wars plays into Nazi Germany, but also the fact that Snow White is of German origin. So Star Wars plays into Nazi Germany, the Nazis, just like how Snow White plays into Germany for being German. Okay, so that's another connection there. And the evil witch from Snow White, her name is Grimhilde. That's German. Okay, this is Grimhilde. This is Grimhilde. This is Grimhilde, okay? That's what I'm saying. This person right here is how I was able to connect Star Wars and Snow White to being the same thing because of this one person. Now, something about this person here, Darth Sidious, who is also Emperor Palpatine, while he was covered up, it's agreed upon that the ability that was used to mask what he looks like when he got in that fight with Mace Windu, that in that tower scene, it didn't melt his face, it revealed who he was. And the reason why they believe that is because there's an ability called Sith Mask. And Sith Mask is used to hide a Sith Lord's unpleasant features to blend in with the local populace or their environment or their surroundings. I mean, if he looked like that the whole time, he wouldn't have been a very popular senator, right? You look evil. Okay, so it's believed that while he was as a senator, used the ability called Force Mask. I'm sorry, not Sith Mask. It's called Force Mask, and that's what Sith use to hide their true features. And right here is proof of that. I wanted to look it up so that way, there's actual like a place where you can go find it. Okay. It says, it is said here that the Sith Lord Darth Sidious, who is this guy, who later on looks like this guy, because it gets lifted, a master of Sith alchemy, may have used this technique in order to conceal his appearance from the people of the Republic and hide his true nature under the facade of the mild-mannered Naboo politician Palpatine. Okay, and they talk about Mace Windu when they got into that, when he reflected his Force lightning, it didn't melt his face, it got rid of the Force mask and revealed who he really looked like, who he really is. Okay. Now that's Star Wars. Now let's go to Snow White. The same person. I know it's okay. I know. This is that's this person right here. This witch right here. This witch right here. Her is her, right? They're the same person. They're not two different people. That's a lie. This is who she really. This is what she really looks like. This is fake. This is who she really looks like. That's what she really looks like. This is fake. So anyway, we just talked about Force Mask, right? And that's what this person from Snow White, who's this person from Star Wars, was using to hide their face the whole time from the Republic. What a coincidence that in Snow White, there's a mask, and it's in the mirror. Force Mask. What does this look like? That looks like a mask, right? That's the same. That's the mirror that this same person was talking to, asking like who's the fairest of them all, or I guess, right? I don't know. It's a real girl thing. They got issues. So there's a mask. You cannot say this is a mask. You cannot say this is not a mask. That's a mask. And it said that Darth Sidious, or Emperor Palpatine, is using Force Mask to hide his face because this is what he really looks like. And he is really her. And her is really her. Okay? Basically mask, 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 mask. Come on, guys. So, here's another connection that I found out, is that in one of the movies, I guess it was Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker refers to Darth Sidious, or Emperor Palpatine, as Your Highness. Now, I know not everybody's royalty, but I'm going to tell you right now, a man is not referred to as Your Highness. That is a term that's used when you're referring to a female, a woman, whether it be a princess or a duchess or whatever. That's a girl term. Okay, that's a girl term. That's a term when you're referring to a girl. Now, when you're referring to a man, it's my lord, my liege, your majesty, your sire. those are terms referring to males. Now, Your Majesty is more. That's more wiggle room. Both can use that, but you're not going to call a woman sire. You're not going to call a woman my lord. You're not going to call a woman, my liege. But you will refer to a woman as Your Highness, and you can refer to a woman as Your Majesty. The word majesty is gender neutral. Like a king, a male can be referred to as Your Majesty, and a female can be referred to as Your Majesty. But you're not going to call a male Your Highness. And Skywalker called Palpatine Your Highness, and I'm trying to prove that Emperor Palpatine is actually a woman, and the woman he is the witch from Star Wars. Okay, again, right? Star Wars, Snow White, Star Wars. I'm trying to prove that the witch here, Grimhilde, is actually Senator Palpatine from Star Wars, and that's what it's based off of. Okay. And then when I heard Luke Skywalker call Emperor Palpatine Your Highness, I was like, wait a minute, I'm already in the middle of trying to prove. I'm already in the middle of trying to put together that you're a woman. Emperor Palpatine, and then I hear Luke Skywalker call Emperor Palpatine Your Highness, and I'm royalty, and I know for a fact that's the term used for females. You don't call a male Your Highness. You call a female Your Highness. There are other terms to use for a male. There's not very many, my queen or my whatever. There's not very many terms for women, so that's theirs. There's a lot for other men, and then the one that's in the middle is Your Majesty. That one's gender neutral. You can use that for both. Okay? Now, this is where it gets extra freaky. Okay? If you watch any of my other videos, you'll know that I'm Vegeta, but I'm also the god of Mu. And I found this out. I put this together about maybe a month ago. I watched a very quick clip. And Emperor Palpatine, in the most recent Star Wars movie, says this right here: "The power of two restores the one true Emperor." Now, I know you're not around me while I talk to myself, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna assume that you just automatically know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm not an idiot, but I have been referring to myself as Emperor Vegeta, not in public or anything, but I have been calling myself that because of what I've done. I was Prince Vegeta. I was Prince Vegeta when I cracked Bitcoin, but I've done a lot since then. I'm Emperor Vegeta now. Okay? And so when I saw this, and I'm also the god of Mu. I'm Prince Vegeta and the god of Mu. Two people. And then I read this, and then I heard what he said, and I want to pull it up for you. He literally, he, whatever, literally said right here, "The power of two restores the one true Emperor." I'm two people in one. He's not referring to Jesus. He's referring to me. I'm two people. I'm not going to compare myself to somebody else right now. I didn't mean to bring that up, but I'm just saying. This is in regards to me. I'm two people in one. I'm Vegeta, and I'm also the god of Mu. And I've also been referring to myself as Emperor. And I watched this a month ago, and I've been calling myself Emperor for like the last 2 years now. So that's really what a crazy coincidence, right? Pretty crazy stuff. That's what I found out. Now, how am I going to end this video? All right, everybody. This dude is a woman. I know it's not easy. I know it's difficult. This person right here, this actor here, that's her, guys. She's pretending to be a man. Okay? This actor here is pretending to be a man. This actor here is actually the witch from Snow White. That sucks. And I've been having to deal with this for like the entire time. I didn't know about this the entire time, but I've gone through a lot, and then to stumble upon this towards the end, kind of a bummer. I'm not gonna lie, that actually does kind of suck. This actor here, I don't have this person pulled up on Wikipedia. I could pull it up real quick. Hang on, just bear with me. Palpatine actor. Ian McDiarmid. This guy right here. Ian McDiarmid. This actor here. This person, Ian McDiarmid, is actually a woman. And the woman he is the witch from Snow White. And the witch from Snow White's name is Grimhilde. Okay? You know, that's just what I'm dealing with, okay? I'm gonna leave it on that. This is how I'm gonna end the video. I've already explained, Force mask. I've already explained, Your Highness. The Empire is a space depiction of Nazi Germany. Snow White is a German folklore. Snow White and Star Wars are the same is the same thing, and because of one person, and it's this person right here. I believe that Ian McDiarmid, this actor here, who plays Emperor Palpatine, is actually the witch from Snow White, whose name is Grimhilde. Now, this is what she really looks like. This is fake. That's what she really looks like. Now, in the cartoon, they want you to watch it and believe that this is what she really looks like, and then she turns into this old hag to harass Snow White. That's not true. This is what she really looks like. This is a facade. This is fake. Okay? So that's it, everybody. Snow White and Star Wars are the same thing because the same person's in both. The evil witch Grimhilde, who is Senator Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine or Darth Sidious in Star Wars. Same person. Using the ability called Force Mask to hide his identity in Star Wars, and then in Snow White talks to a mask. Star Wars, mask, Snow White. Kind of a big deal, right? This dude's a chick. Okay? Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. But it's the truth. The witch from Snow White. The witch from Snow White is behind Star Wars. Okay, the witch from Snow White is behind Star Wars because the witch from Snow White is Darth Sidious. And now, if you watch Snow White, I mean, I didn't watch the cartoon. I'm not. This is basically like this right here is like a 50-50. This is not a statement. It's more of a speculation. If you watch that cartoon, you never see her use a wand, right? You never really, besides a lightsaber, you never really see Emperor Palpatine using a wand, right? Or you know what I mean? See what I'm saying? They're both white. They're both old. They both have white hair, and they both use a black cloak, and they both use a mask in some way, shape, or form. In Snow White, they use the mirror, which is a mask to talk to, and then in Star Wars, they used the ability called Force Mask to hide their identity, which is the same thing she did in Snow White, hide her identity. Guys, it's the same person. I'm telling you right now. I'm not asking your opinion. I'm telling you right now, it's the same person. The same. Use a mask. Use a spell. Use a spell in Snow White to hide her identity. Just like how Senator Palpatine used a spell, the Force, to hide his identity. And they're both masks. They both mask. See what I'm saying? They mask their identity. One person, the same person, masked their identity in Snow White, and then the same person masked their identity in Star Wars. It's the same person. That witch from Snow White is Emperor Palpatine, and that's how the two of them are connected. And then look at look at Snow White, princess, prince, and then look at Star Wars, and evil queen, right? Snow White is princess, prince, and then evil queen. And then you look at Star Wars, it's evil emperor / empress, and then princess and prince. Now, where's the prince? Well, they call Leia Princess Leia. So what does that make Luke? Chopped liver? They just don't refer to him as a prince, because if they referred to him as prince, it would have been too much of a connection towards Snow White. Snow White has a prince, a princess, and an evil queen. Star Wars has a prince, a princess, and an evil emperor / empress. Both include masks. One Star Wars, one Snow White. One depicts one depicts Germany as in like the Empire, and then one is a German folklore, which is Snow White. You guys, it's the same thing. That's a real person. That actor, Ian McDiarmid, whatever. That actor Ian is a woman. That's a chick. That's a chick. That's a chick. Yep. Big deal. Oh, and then also too, when I punched out those rockets in my house and I used the Force, which is also Gallic gun, I really did that. I punched out 3 rockets I punched out 3 rockets, and boom. I punched out 3 rockets, and I used the Force, and there's evidence of that. I talked about it in another video. And then, later on, I started referring to myself as Emperor. And then I watched this clip about a month ago, and this was years ago. I punched those rockets out about 4 years ago, and I'm only watching this now. The power of 2 used to restore the 1, true Emperor. I've been saying I'm the god of Mu and Vegeta in one person. And I use the Force and I use the Force after cracking Bitcoin. After cracking Bitcoin and going Super Saiyan, I use the Force, and that's about me. So basically, besides that witch being Darth Sidious, I'm also the fulfillment of Sith prophecy. Oh, I want to say a Sith prophecy, but if I'm the true Emperor, I'm the fulfillment of Sith prophecy. Yeah, you deal with that. Yeah, right. Sure, right on. Yeah, whatever. No big deal. Sure, that's totally normal. That's totally normal. That's totally okay. Do you have any idea how much I've been disrespected this entire time? This is not good. This is going to be really bad. And it's because we're all living in a redo. Yeah, someone's in deep shit, by the way, and I've identified that person big time. We're in a redo, and you're disrespecting me, and I'm the fulfillment of Sith prophecy. I don't care who you are in Hollywood. Bye. I'm a fucking dumbass, dude. I know exactly who's responsible for this, and he's shitting his pants right now because it's the truth. It's an actor in Hollywood. We're living in a redo. So I'm the fulfillment. I'm the fulfillment of Sith prophecy. That the power of 2, the god of Mu and Vegeta, become 1, me, and become the true Emperor. Whatever that means, whatever that means, whatever that means is what it means. It means that no matter who calls himself Emperor, they're a usurper. I'm the true Emperor. I'm Emperor Vegeta. So, you don't like it, don't really care. Tough shit. Care about you. It's crazy. No, I'm sorry. That's not towards you, the viewer. That's towards the people who've been giving me crap the whole time. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that as an attack towards you. That's just towards all the people who have been insulting me the entire time. And even more so after I cracked Bitcoin. I've been insulted my entire life by the same people, but it ramped up. It like stepped up. It got kicked up a notch after I cracked Bitcoin. And a lot's happened since then. I mean, like a lot of paranormal, a lot of supernatural, a lot of not normal events. And I mean like not funny, not like, you know, a book being knocked over. Like I'm talking like portals opening up and like people walking out of them, staring at me. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding. Portals opening up right in front of me and people walking out, standing in front of me, staring at me with their identities hidden behind some kind of veil of ambiguity or anonymity. Like you could see like the outline of their body, you could see what they were wearing, but you just couldn't really see like you could see the shape of their body. You could tell that one was a girl and one was a man. I mean, like it was crazy. That's an example. And like shadow people and like the rockets that I shot out and going Super Saiyan, like a lot's happened since I cracked Bitcoin. A lot's happened, you know, seeing UFOs, like blatant UFOs, like no shit. Like, wow, that was UFO. A lot's happened. Being called Messiah at a Mormon church, like a lot's happened. Okay. And I'm trying to play it cool, but like a lot's happened since I solved Bitcoin. And like I have telekinesis now, and like I knock things over on accident, or like things get like slapped over all the time. I've had crucifixes fly off at me, like all kinds of stuff. Okay, and it's been like every single day for a while, and then like every other day. Like for example, I'll give you an example. Just last week, I was driving to work, and out of nowhere, this person was walking in front of me. Like I'm driving this way, and this person walking on the sidewalk this way, just by themselves. And then in front of my vehicle, about maybe like 100 feet, I see them turn around, like turn to their side, and just start flipping off for like no reason, like this way. Not at me, because I'm like 100 feet back, like doing this and like flipping off like to their left, like whatever's over there. And so when I caught up to them, because I'm driving past them because I got to go somewhere, I like look over to see like who they're flipping off, and then I'm flipping off anybody. There's nobody there. There's like a parking lot or whatever, like an empty lot, but there's nobody there. And then as soon as I pass by that person, what do I get? Double middle finger, like right in my window. And then, but it wasn't like following me. It was just like, it was like flipped me off, and then like kept flipping off like in this direction. It's a thing, guys. I got flipped off, right? It's like, you know what I mean? If you're like a part of it, like, oh, what's that guy's problem? I've been dealing with this for years now. I know for a fact that person was setting up to flip me off. Now, I'm not like flip me off on the way there, then flip me off here, and then flip me off as I pass. They were just turning left and flipping off, turning left and then flipping off. It was really weird, like turning left and flipping off. And then as soon as I passed by that person, they turned left right when I passed them, right when I'm right there with them, flipped me off, and then keep facing that way as I drove past, and then like did it again. I was like, all right, I just got flipped off. That's the kind of stuff that I can see, that I know what I'm dealing with. I don't expect somebody else, unless you know who I am, unless you're prepared to be a believer, I don't expect you to know what that is. But as soon as I passed that person and I got flipped off, I knew that was somebody acting through somebody else to make sure I knew. F you. I'm not even kidding. You know. So, and anyway, and I do things on my own too, like in private and stuff. Like I stick finger and stuff like that. Like like I said, like I have things going on, and so like that was totally. I'm not upset about that. I totally get it, because I was sticking finger, not like openly, but I was sticking finger when when I talk to myself and I rehearse things and I recover things and I get upset. I stick fingers sometimes. And that's exactly what that was. And so I'm not really like that bent out of shape about it, but it is a thing. So I'm the fulfillment of Sith prophecy. And I am not a big lightsaber fan. I'm going to be honest. I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid. I'm more into blasters than a fucking lightsaber. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. That's bullcrap. I'm sorry. I just don't care. I think it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit. I'm more into a blaster. I'm more into a pistol than a rifle than I am a lightsaber. It's just crap, you know. So I'll make a video later on about what I found out, because I have more theories about that involving other things like vampires and stuff. But this video is about Snow White and Star Wars being the same thing, because the witch from Snow White is the same emperor from Star Wars. Emperor Palpatine is the evil witch from Snow White, Grimhilde. And then the prophecy that's talked about in Star Wars is an actual reference to me, because I use the Force and I'm two people in one. I'm the God of Mu and Prince Vegeta, which means I'm going to be Emperor Vegeta. I mean, technically, I guess you could say God Emperor Vegeta. Kind of lame. I'm not really going to get like that retarded. I hope it doesn't get that dumb. I'm not that lame. But technically, because I am the God of Mu and Vegeta's Emperor, technically it's God Emperor Vegeta. Technically, God Emperor Vegeta, because I'm the God of Mu. God Emperor Vegeta. But I'm going to do my best to like not make it that lame, but I'll tell you right now, unless you like shut the fuck up, it's going to get that lame. And the whip's going to crack and it's going to smack you right on the ass. It's not funny. Okay, that's the video. Lots going on. I'll make another video to kind of sum up what I'm talking about here about me being Sith and all this other crap, and what I've also figured out besides this, because I also have a theory about me being a Sith and, you know, what's happening here with George Lucas and, you know, the Jedi and all this other stuff. And I'll make a video about me being Sith. Okay? It's very simple. I'll make a video about it. Anyway, God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.